Hello everyone. Today I'm going to say something on structuralism. Structuralism is a theoretical perspective that emerged in the field of literary study. Theory of criticism originated during mid-20th century, and structuralism seeks to emphasize and analyze literature by examining the underlying structures and system, emphasizing the relationship between different elements. This approach grew out of the broader field of structuralism, which originated in linguistics and was developed by scholars such as Ferdinand de Saussure and Claude Lévi-Strauss. In literary theory, structuralism focuses on the internal organization of a literary work instead of traditional concerns with authorial intention and historical context. It views literature as self-contained system, a self-contained system of signs and symbols governed by specific rules and patterns. These rules, according to structuralists, shape the meaning and interpretation of a text. Binary opposition. Structuralists argue that meaning of a text is generated through the contrast and interaction between opposing elements. These opposing elements include light and dark, male and female, good and evil, fantasy and reality. These oppositions create tension and contribute to the overall meaning of a text. Second concept is signifier and signified. Structuralists differentiate between the physical representation of a concept and the mental concept it represents. Physical concept of an object or signifier, or mental concept it represents is the signified. Physical signifier, mental signified. They argue that the meaning is constructed through the relationship between signifier and the signified, physical and the mental, physical object and mental perception. Structures and symbols. Society, language, culture, universal human experience can create larger and broader system. These underlying systems, structuralists seek to uncover the deeper structures that define a literary text, but through intertextuality. Structuralists emphasize the interconnectedness of text, suggesting that no single text is isolated. Each text relies or refers to other text within a larger network of meaning. Intertextuality acknowledges that meaning is not solely contained within the specific work, but is shaped by the relationship it has with other texts. Also faced several criticism from various angles. Some of the critics argued that the method was overly deterministic. It reduces literature to formulaic patterns and it ignores the uniqueness of individual works. Thus, critics believe that structuralism is an overly complex and detached from the social and historical context in which literature is produced. In spite of these criticisms, structuralism paves a way for the development of many other literary theory like post-structuralism, which challenged the notion of rigid structure systems proposed by structuralism. They explored the instability and plurality of meaning in a text and fostered the development of semiotics, study of signs and symbols, which forms the basis of many contemporary approaches to literary analysis. I argue that meaning of a literary text arises not solely from its content or plot, but also from the relationship and patterns formed by its structural elements. This includes examining the narrative structure, linguistic patterns, examining the narrative structure, linguistic patterns, symbolism, recurring motives, and the interplay of different literary devices within the text. We often employ close reading techniques to analyze text, focusing on specific moments, specific phrases, or specific symbols that contribute to the overall structures. By identifying these structural components, they aim to uncover the underlying codes and systems that organize the meaning of the text. Significant contribution of structuralism is the notion of binary opposition. Structuralists argue that meaning of a text is generated through the tension and interaction between opposing concepts or ideas within the text. So, argue that meaning is generated through the tension and interaction between opposing concepts and ideas within the text. For example, in Gothic novels, the contrast between light and dark, life and death, rationality and madness. For example, in Gothic novel, contrast between light and dark, life and death, rationality and madness may contribute to the overall thematic development. In addition to analyzing individual text, structuralism also explores the broader structural systems that shape literary production and interpretation. It acknowledges the influence of social, cultural, and historical factors on literary works, as well as the larger systems of language and communication. Structuralist approach recognizes that literature does not exist in isolation but is embedded within a larger network of textual and cultural reference.